So here you go with one of the best kettlebell workouts for starters. We believe in our experience. First exercise that you do is a power clean. Second exercise is a goblet squat. Third exercise is a push press. The protocol, you do 2 minutes per exercise because we believe in the 4-time method, because it's so easy for you to work out with kettlebells or to train in general. I even started to apply this type of training for time with everything else, or with mostly everything else, with most of the stuff that I do. All exercises are done unbroken, so that means you do 2 minutes of power cleans, 2 minutes of goblet squats, 2 minutes of push press, no rest. You can rest, of course, when you can't go anymore. And before dropping or fainting, drop the kettlebell, because the kettlebell always wins. Put it down, breathe, and then you go back at it. The idea is you don't have a certain amount of breaks or a certain break system. You just keep working and listening at your own body, listening at your pace, and that's how you do it. So, and then you can do multiple rounds. We're just advising you to do 1 round first. You start out with 1 round. And once you feel fine, you can actually go with multiple rounds, 2 to 3 to 4. So if you follow our workout schedule that we do live, you see how we always follow this routine. 2 minutes per exercise, all exercises done unbroken. All exercise, once they're done, they equal 1 round. We do 60-second break after, I forgot to mention this, I'm sorry. You do 1 minute break after every round. I think I mentioned it. Did I forget it? And you do multiple rounds. This is our life system, life workout system, the life system protocol that we use. Now, weight recommendation, if you're a female, you start with 8 kilograms. If you're a male, you start with 12 kilograms. Why are we advising this weight? Because if you've never touched the weight before, as a woman, and you've never lifted a kettlebell before, start with 8 kilos. Because you get a warped view of kettlebell training if you use anything less than 8 kilograms, 6 kilo, 4 kilo, 2 kilo, any kettlebell that you can easily move with your arms without having to engage your midsection, your glutes, your quads, your hamstrings. This is something that will warp your kettlebell training and program your system the wrong way. If you pick up an 8 kilogram and you think it's heavy, it's supposed to be heavy because you're supposed to work with mostly your legs, unless you do some grinding lifts like the Turkish club or a strict press. And guys as well, dudes who never picked up a kettlebell, 12 kilo is the way to start. Now, these are recommendations that, of course, if you have some, maybe you have some situations where you could deviate from this recommendation. You always don't take it 100% at face value if you have injuries, if you have underlying conditions, or if you're just regenerating, or you're using it for a physiotherapist and he's doing some exercise with the kettlebell. This is different, right? But most of the time, I believe it is useful for females to start with 8 kilograms and guys with 12 kilograms to get this type of feeling. And always make sure that you can talk to a coach who can really, really teach you the ins and outs. Like I mentioned in the beginning, when Steve Carter visited our gym in 2019, it was a pivotal moment of my kettlebell coach career. This is not something that I could have attained through video only. So if you have the means and if you know a good coach, contact this person, talk to them, and they shall teach you. So now let's check out these exercises. Now, the first thing that we do is actually a power clean. So let's check this one right out. So I'm gonna have to do this. Boom. Yep. So as you can see, a power clean, you got the kettlebell, you drop it on the floor. And the reason why we call it a power clean is because you have to put the weight down, have it rest on the ground. And because it's a power clean, and we use a double-handed grip, because it's for beginners, it's easy to start with 2 hands first. The reason why it's called power clean, as far as I know, is if you need more power to accelerate the kettlebell into the overhead subfixation or into the rack rest position or whatever you want to go, So you could also call it a power snatch if you put the kettlebell down and boom, bring it in the top fixation directly and then put it down again. So that's the reason why I believe and I've heard you classify it as power whatever, power clean, power jerk, power snatch. So you see we're using power from the posterior chain, from the hamstrings to glutes, and then we pull the kettlebell up with our arms, and then we rest it, fix it in the overhead top fixation with both arms. And that's an easy exercise to do for a beginner, even though I highly advise you to learn a proper deadlift maybe first, or to get this proper connection to your body so you can have a straight line, so your back is straight. So that's actually the power clean. Pull it up, boom, and then carefully setting it back down. So you do this for 2 minutes. Then we have switched a little bit too far. Then we're here at the goblet squat. Now a goblet squat is also not as easy to learn, but it's still easier. Grinding lifts, in our opinion and our experience with our clients, is still easier. Grinding lifts are still easier to learn than going with the ballistics first, right? So goblet squat, you got the kettlebell in the rack rest position, and I'm actually seeing myself grabbing the kettlebell differently. Wow, I normally now grab the kettlebell like this. At the sides, the handle is looking down, but I probably prepared myself to go into a push press afterwards. So what you do, knees out, chest up, make sure your back stays as upward as possible. And the reason why my back is slightly leaning forward is because I got very tight pants. So if you're working with tight pants, you're not able to push your legs out that far, and that could probably hinder you. So see, with Angie, she's doing it way better than I'm doing it. So legs out, as you can see, legs tracking your knees tracking your feet. Angie's demonstrating it, awesome. And then boom, getting back up. So that's a goblet squat. You do that for 2 minutes. Now, 2 minutes goblet squats are incredibly hard to do. So always make sure to put down the kettlebell if you feel it's burning you out. And then you start pacing. This is what we teach our clients as well. Start pacing. You know you got the goblet squat. You know it's a tricky exercise. You know you're not able to do it for 2 full minutes. Then try to chop it up and say, okay, I'm going to do this exercise for now 30 seconds. Then I'll put it down before I burn out. Then pick it up again. Try another 30 seconds. Put it down again. And I do this for 2 full minutes. And now we have the final exercise. It's a push press. Now, we also advise you to start working with 2 hands first. Now, grabbing the kettlebell. Oh, and I saw Angie was grabbing it. No, she was grabbing it the same. Now, grabbing the kettlebell. And we call this the so-called CrossFit grip, where you got your thumbs inside the handle and your fingers are outside on the belt. Now, you press it together, and then, boom. You go into the overhead top fixation, and then you bring it down. And this is more easy. I believe it's one of the easiest exercises for a press for beginners to do, because you have 2 hands. You're actually able to stabilize the kettlebell with both of your arms. You can really push the kettlebell up. You have the press. A standing press is a very solid exercise for upper body strength. So this is what we would advise. You have the power clean, you have the goblet squat, and you have the push press. So that's what's up.